All right, everybody, we are going over our week 4 vocabulary words, and let's go ahead and start out by, I'm going to read each of them, and then I'll go over them. So let's take a look. Miserable, copied, convinced, annoying, plots, honored, appreciate, phase, retrospect, that's a neat word, patient, shadow, normal, incredible, constantly. All right. So we've got all those words. Now let's go over them. Miserable. How many of you have ever felt miserable before? I've felt miserable. I've been miserable. No doubt about it.
When sick.
When you're sick, yeah. We've all had that real life, sit down please, that real life experience, right, of feeling miserable. Right? Let me zoom in too. So to feel miserable is to feel terrible and not happy and really struggling, right? I know that all of us have felt like that before. Copied. To do the exact same as others. How many of you have copied someone? I've done it.
I copy my brothers all the time.
I've done it. There's probably, you're not going to get through this life without maybe doing that once or twice. All right? And I'm not even talking about in the negative way where you copy someone's paper, but maybe you copy the way someone does something. You say, man, that's pretty cool. I'm going to do that. Right? It's probably sometimes that's how people learn. I'm a very spatial learner. If I see something done, I can do it. If you explain it to me, I need to see it first. You know what I mean? Let me see it. That's why YouTube is amazing, because not just for your goofy videos, but YouTube's an incredible resource. I'll say this. The other night at my house, I was plumbing in a gas manifold. And there was one aspect of this flexible gas pipe I didn't understand. I YouTubed it. All right, I see how to do it. So useful, right?
I know. My dad used that to fix our dishwasher.
No kidding, right? I mean, tell your dad I've done that a million times. I've YouTubed. I just bought a Kubota tractor, and I YouTubed how to do about a million things on it. Right, here we go. Convinced. How many of you have been convinced before? And you're like, yeah, we've been. To be absolutely sure something or to believe it, right? And then how many of you have been like, well, I guess I wasn't right about that. All of us. Annoying. Something that is very frustrating. You get tired of dealing with. Right. We've all been annoyed before. All right. Plots. Plots. To make a very clear plan about things in secret. How many of you guys have come up with a plan, but you couldn't tell somebody, right? We've all plotted to do something before.
I just make a plan for myself.
All right. Honored. To feel proud and like you accomplished something important. How many have felt honored?
After a time test.
Appreciate. To recognize something as very valuable and be grateful that you have it. How many of you have been appreciative for someone or something? Yes. Phase. A short amount of time, a stage of life that will change. How many of you feel like, yeah, I went through a weird phase when I was in 2nd grade, where I brought my blankie to school, and I wouldn't leave without my blankie. Dominic says he's got his blankie with him right now. All right, ready? Retrospect. Retrospect. To look back and think about things differently. Oh my gosh, if you don't do that, everyone should do that. Right, just like you were convinced over here, right? And then in retrospect, though, you look back and you're like, well, maybe I wasn't right about that. Patient. To be calm and not in a rush. To accept and be tolerant. The word tolerate should be something all youngsters need to evaluate what that word means. Right? Guys, we should all be a little bit tolerant of other people, right? We need that. We need this. Because when you're tolerant, you could then say, all right, well, let's talk about our differences and agree to disagree, right? All right, let's keep going. Shadow, a dark area or shape created by a real object. How many of you have ever seen a shadow before? How many of you have ever been spooked out by a shadow? What? Normal. To be typical, what everyone expects and not strange. Normal, right? Incredible. Totally awesome and amazing. Thank you so much for that. And then ready? Here we go. Constantly. Happening over and over and over. Like if I'm constantly telling you to get your DLR out and keep track of it. How many of you have heard me do that? Then you're familiar with the word constantly.
Everybody.
All right, guys. Those are your words read to you and definitions given. Tadero out.